Welcome back to From the Field. These quick bite-sized conversations are really all about what's happening in our local security businesses, direct from the people on the ground making it happen. We're traveling virtually the country to interview best-in-class cybersecurity sellers, engineers, thought leaders, all to tell the stories of great people and the technology that brings them together and to share their awesome stories. Welcome, Matt and Dash. You guys ready to dive in?
Ready as always, yeah.
Great to have you. So let's kick it off with a good one. So for both Matt and Dash, and you guys jump in on this, but what gets you excited about working in security with your customers in the Potomac Select area?
Sure. So I think, Dash and I, we deal with a wealth of different customers in this patch, right? There's a ton of different vertical, and we have a lot of overlap with some critical infrastructure and critical componentry to the United States, right? I think first and foremost, the fact that we make such a big difference in these people's lives is a really key factor, right? We are not selling a widget or a nice to have. We are selling security. Security is very, very critical to the actual overall success of these organizations and what that means to their communities, right? Not just in the DMV area, but also, across the country and even globally, right? So really being able to provide that strategic vision in lockstep with a customer has been just an overwhelming, just great feeling that we can actually provide so much change and so much impact to some of these household names that we do service. So for me, I know that's a glaring fact. I'll let Dash answer, any thoughts? Elaborate on that.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Matt. For me, when I look introspectively, it's always been about making connections and collaborating with our customers, right? That connection means a lot to me. And security being one of the toughest challenges that they could have, right? So helping them work through that and make a connection to me is why I do what I do and why I get excited about it.
I love that. I mean, it's just evident, you guys want to help people, and I would say even beyond that, it's evident that you guys are out there doing the business and doing what you do because you want to protect people, and you want to protect your customers. So I just love hearing that. And it's evident in both of your voices. We all work in cybersecurity. The great thing about, our line of work is there's never a shortage of information out there, and it's always in the news. It's always top of mind with our customers and folks who are not our customers, quite frankly. So, Matt, why don't you just tell us a little bit about what's going on kind of in your local area from the security perspective? What's in the headlines?
Yeah, so, again, being in the DC metro area, we definitely have a wealth of kind of news that's always coming out, right? Whether that be kind of government driven and kind of, presented out to the world, or if it just be kind of regular, I guess more focused into our exact patch. So there's a couple things that I use in particularly to kind of stay informed of this stuff, right? First and foremost, I'll name drop Talos, right? Talos is a great first step that anybody can just go to. Listen to the podcast Beers with Talos. It's fantastic, right? Or just listen to kind of where the threats are, or any of the blogs that they put out. I get a ton of information from that. But above and beyond that, something I use a lot is just Google Alerts, right? Just saying ping cybersecurity or DDoS attacks or ransomware. All of these alerts get fed directly to my email. You can set exactly how the timing and the volume of what I'm getting from an information standpoint. But the cool part is that if I'm using Talos, I'm using LinkedIn Navigator, if I'm using, just LinkedIn traditional, Google Alerts, whatever it may be, I'm pulling content of value that's going to be resonating to my clients, right? So what we don't want to do, and what Dash and I don't do, is the way we approach our business is really going about it in a way of just kind of casting a large net and seeing what bites, right? We want to be very, very strategic and tactful on how we go after this, right? So if I know DDoS is at the top of mind because I've seen, that in the news replicated 4 times in the last 3 weeks, and that's actually true. All of a sudden it's why do I want to target, maybe a partnership like Radware, right? But not just target it, bring actual valid data to that conversation. So if I'm prospecting, whether it be a net new or even an existing customer that we have a great relationship with, I never want to go about this, and we'll talk a little bit more about this on kind of the prospecting aspect, but I never just want to introduce myself without any value, right? It's let's tie back in what's happening in the real world, right? How is this impactful? How does this impact you, Mr. Customer? And be able to show valid data points, right? Whether it be articles, things that Talos are seeing, whatever it may be. If we're not using that as a tool, we're really missing the mark, because that can greatly accelerate exactly how fast we can get a conversation up and rolling. And also, I think the biggest part is it really gains trust, right? It shows that customer that, hey, we're doing our homework, we're educated on what's latest and greatest in this world. And we have value to come to the table and really speak to them about that, right? So I think using those kind of aspects has been something that I use regularly, and I definitely suggest that everybody do so.